Preamble. Resolution on 911 mythology rejection by the Republican Party. Whereas the leaseholder of the World Trade Center admitted on a 2002 PBS documentary entitled America Rebuilds that Building 7 of the World Trade Center was conventionally demolished on 9/11/01 at 5:20 p.m. Whereas the video evidence of the collapse of World Trade Center 7 confirms the statement made by the leaseholder, Mr. Larry Silverstein, of Silverstein Properties, that the building was brought down by conventional demolition, whereas the 47-story WTC Building 7 could not have been wired for conventional demolition in one day. It was pre-wired weeks in advance of 9/11 while it was occupied with tenants and without a permit. Whereas Mr. Silverstein has already collected insurance money for Trade Center 7 as a result of fire rather than demolition, whereas Mr. Silverstein leased the World Trade Center for 99 years, only 6 weeks before 9/11 for $200 million, with a provision in his contract to rebuild the building if it was destroyed by terrorists. Whereas Larry Silverstein took out an insurance policy with a terrorism rider for $3.5 billion per incident and claimed 2 jets for 2 incidents. Whereas both twin towers 1 and 2 of the World Trade Center fell at free fall speed, the cold steel below the fire zone gave no resistance to the falling weight above, evidencing the use of explosive all of the way down. Whereas physicist Dr. Stephen E. Jones presents evidence matching chemical signatures between red chips found in the dust, spiracles collected from the World Trade Center dust, and commercial thermite. Whereas those spiracles present in the dust is as convicting as a DNA number in a murder case and could not be planted in random dust samples. Whereas Dr. Jones also found unspent thermite samples in the debris from the Twin Towers. Whereas thermite is a high-grade military steel melting explosive. Whereas the columns of the Twin Towers show evidence of shaped charges placed on columns in sections with classic thermite melting characteristics. Whereas molten metal was found in the basement levels of the Twin Towers in Building 7, which burned for weeks, evidencing the use of explosives to sever the main columns from their heavy foundation. Whereas 9 heavy, powerful explosions and shock waves were recorded before the collapse of the Twin Towers, evidencing the use of heavy explosives. Whereas these explosives would have been placed well in advance of the impacts of 767 jets, whereas the placements of thermite would have been done under the protection of the management and owner or leaseholder of the World Trade Centers, whereas the architect and engineers have stated that they designed the Twin Towers to withstand multiple impacts of 707 jets, which are comparable to the 767s, fully loaded with fuel and cargo anywhere in the buildings. Whereas no jet airline hijacker could have planted thermite explosives in the buildings, nor would they have bothered to use aircraft if they could use explosives in the buildings. Whereas the Twin Towers and Building 7 were undoubtedly destroyed by well-placed thermite, and whereas Larry Silverstein, as of 2004, has sued the airlines for $12.3 billion for failing to stop the terrorist hijackers from crashing into his buildings, whereas no verifiable 757 jet airliner parts have ever been produced at the Pentagon crash site, whereas no verifiable 757 jet airline parts have ever been produced at the Shanksville crash site, whereas the U.S. government has launched a war in Afghanistan and Iraq and killed almost 1 million Iraqis in response to the 911, whereas the U.S. government wants to start another war in Iran as a response to 911, whereas the U.S. government has created a police state at home in America as a response to 911/01, wherein the president alone can use tyrannical power to attack a citizen of any state in the Union as an unlawful combatant and arrest them without bail, attorney, or contract with anyone indefinitely, whereas the president has made an unlawful war on the whole world and all its citizens, including those at home. Whereas the U.S. Congress has been lame and ineffective to curb the tyrannical behavior of the President and his administration. Whereas the Federal Reserve injected $200 billion paper dollars into circulation on 9/11 and the same amount several times since to help keep America going as a result of the 9/11 terrorism hoax. Whereas the $1 trillion plus cost of two wars related to 9/11 terrorism and those that harbor them hoax. Whereas the American dollar has lost over half its value since 9/11 as a direct result of the effects of the 9/11 terrorism hoax. Therefore, be it resolved, the Republican Party, an agent for the people in recognition of the principles of property that protect the lives, liberties, and possessions of all citizens upon which our nation is based, should, number one, denounce the mainstream media notion that the U.S. government has proven its conspiracy theory that a radical Muslim extremist and or Islamo fascist hijackers and jet airliners destroyed the World Trade Center and Pentagon and crashed in Shanksville. Denounce the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Resist any effort of any politician to get America to invade or harm Iran. Call for the immediate repeal of all tyrannical homeland security legislation. Call for the immediate repeal of the tyrannical Patriot Act. Dissolve the tyrannical Homeland Security Agency. And call for the immediate arrest and prosecution of Larry Silverstein for treason and murder and the destruction of property.
I move the rejection of the resolution.
Not specific enough.
That's Charlie. Charlie, sit right there. Charlie.
Okay, did everybody understand the resolution, or do you want John to read it again?
Is Arthur here?
Yes, he is. The author is here.
Okay, is there a motion to accept this resolution? You want a second? So is there a motion to accept?
Second motion to reject.
Okay, we had one, it wasn't seconded. All right. You want to bring it up again? You want to bring your motion to reject?
I just moved to reject.
Okay, somebody's willing to second? Okay. Any discussion on that? If not, we'll bring it to a vote. Those in favor to reject the resolution, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those in favor not to reject the resolution, signify by same sign.
Aye.
Aye.
Let's have a hand count. Okay, motion fails. Or the resolution fails. Motion passes. That completes the resolutions portion of this convention.